the genesis of humanity in the dim light of his study, the air thick with the scent of aged parchment and ink. Zecharia Sitchin leaned back in his chair, pondering the monumental task before him. The genesis of humanity was not merely a historical inquiry. It represented a crossroads of science, mythology, and the very essence of what it meant to be human. With each passing day, the enigmatic narrative of our origins became increasingly complex, interwoven with threads of ancient wisdom and modern discovery. The ancient Sumerian texts spoke not just of gods, but of beings whose influence extended far beyond the earthly realm. These beings, the Anunnaki, were said to have descended from the heavens, their motivations and actions intricately tied to the fate of humanity. But what if their touch had been more profound than mere guidance? What if they had shaped the very fabric of our DNA, the building blocks of life itself? Sitchin's mind raced as he flipped through the pages of his notes, each line a testament to the research he had painstakingly gathered over the years. He had long been captivated by the idea that the Anunnaki were more than myth. They were architects of human evolution, genetic engineers who had manipulated the strands of DNA to create a new species, Homo sapiens. His theory, though controversial, had the power to challenge the very foundations of accepted scientific thought. The Sumerians had left us a treasure trove of knowledge inscribed on clay tablets, their cuneiform writing chronicling a world where gods mingled with men. Sitchin recalled the tale of Enki, one of the Anunnaki, who was said to have taken a keen interest in humanity. The texts hinted at a divine experiment, a desire to create a being that could serve as a steward of the earth, one capable of thought, creativity, and ambition. As he delved deeper into the ancient narratives, Sitchin began to see a patina-coded message written across millennia, indicating that the Anunnaki had indeed engaged in genetic manipulation. The concept was radical, yet the evidence was compelling. He had analyzed the genetic markers found within human DNA and discovered astonishing similarities to those of other species, particularly primates. It was as if the Anunnaki had taken existing life forms and infused them with something extraordinary, a spark that ignited the potential for higher consciousness. But how had they accomplished such a feat? Was it through advanced biotechnology, or perhaps a form of knowledge lost to the sands of time? The thought sent shivers down Sitchin's spine as he recalled the archaeological findings that supported his claims. Sites such as Göbekli Tepe in modern-day Turkey, with its intricately carved pillars and celestial alignments, suggested a civilization far more advanced than previously imagined. What if this ancient site was not merely a temple, but a laboratory of sorts? A place where the Anunnaki conducted their experiments. The sheer scale of the structures, built long before the advent of known civilization, hinted at knowledge and capabilities that surpassed human understanding. The more he reflected on these revelations, the more the pieces fell into place. The Anunnaki had not simply observed humanity from afar. They had engaged with it, perhaps even intervened at critical moments in our evolutionary history. Could it be that they were responsible for the sudden leaps in human development, the cognitive explosion that led to the creation of art, language, and complex societies? Sitchin's curiosity burned as he considered the implications of such a theory. If humanity's evolution was indeed influenced by extraterrestrial beings, how did this reshape our understanding of ourselves? Were we merely products of chance, or were we designed with purpose? The questions hung heavy in the air, tantalizing yet daunting. In the quiet solitude of his study, Sitchin felt an invigorating sense of purpose. This was not just an exploration of the past. It was a call to challenge the status quo, to invite others to consider the extraordinary possibilities of our origins. He began to write, his pen moving swiftly across the page as he articulated his thoughts. He described the genesis of humanity as an intricate tapestry woven from the threads of divine intervention and evolutionary biology. He painted a picture of early humans not as primitive beings struggling for survival, but as creations of a greater intelligence, endowed with the capacity for greatness. As he wrote, vivid images flooded his mindly hominids gazing up at the stars, their imaginations ignited by the knowledge that they were not alone. The Anunnaki, with their advanced technology and wisdom, had left an indelible mark on the human psyche, igniting the fires of curiosity and ambition that would one day lead to the exploration of the cosmos. Yet, even as excitement coursed through him, Sitchin was acutely aware of the skepticism that surrounded his theories. Critics would argue that the evidence was circumstantial, that the leap from ancient myths to modern scientific understanding was fraught with peril. But he remained undeterred. History, he believed, was often written by those who dared to challenge convention, those who sought the truth in the face of adversity. With renewed determination, he meticulously documented his findings, weaving together ancient texts, archaeological discoveries, and modern genetic research. Each piece of evidence served as a building block, constructing a narrative that could potentially reshape humanity's understanding of its own origins. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting a golden hue over the study. Sitchin paused, staring out of the window at the gathering twilight. The world beyond seemed to hold its breath, as if aware of the monumental revelations taking place within those four walls. He felt a connection to the ancients, to the Sumerians, who had once gazed at the same stars, wondering about their place in the universe. In that moment of reflection, Sitchin realized that the story of humanity was not just his to tell. It was a collective journey, one that transcended time and space. It beckoned to all who dared to seek answers, to question the narratives handed down through generations. But he was merely a conduit, a voice among many in the ongoing quest for understanding. With a final flourish, he signed his name at the bottom of the page.